Streets, Victoria Island, Lagos.
Book your stay today and indulge this experience.
Victoria Crown Plaza Hotel, a destination. Elevate your stay in Lagos to the next level. Experience VCP Hotel VI.
For booking and reservation, visit our website www.vcphotels.com or call 0903-818-9144. Follow us on Instagram and all social media platforms at VCP Hotels.
Victoria Crown Plaza Hotel. Elevate your stay in Lagos to the next level. Located at 292B at Jose Adeogun Street, Victoria Island, Lagos.
Let us dive into the heart of global affairs.
We go beyond the headlines and into the real stories shaping our world.
Why paying more than $200 million to have 1,000 Kenyan soldiers come to Haiti when we could use that money to train the police?
What you've done with your grief is actually to spread it and give it and turn it into the love.
This served Netanyahu because he didn't think Hamas would ever be a serious military threat.
Congo is a country with so much wealth. The people have been fighting to regain control.
From the corridors of power to the front lines of change, Borderline brings you in with analysis of the issues.
The U.S. has power over them. Most of them will steal money from Haiti and invest in the U.S.
Some people who support Sonko and Jumai, over half of them don't have a voter's
Ah, sounds like Nigeria.
Join Ireti Bakari Yusuf on Borderlines as she engages with policymakers and thought leaders,
giving you perspectives and insights you won't find anywhere else.
Be part of the conversation. Join us live.
Your voice matters on Borderlines as we explore the complexities.
Every Friday at 4 p.m.
on 99.3 Nigeria Info.
Stay informed, stay engaged.
Step into the conversation.
You are listening to your number one station for talk.
Your number one station for talk.
99.3 Nigeria Info. Let's talk.
Ho, 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 ladies and gentlemen. Well, it's not Christmas, but definitely it is a time to look forward to a concert of the year. I'm talking about the Cloud Talk concert. It definitely is back and it is bigger and better. I'm talking about you fraternizing with some of Nigeria's best content creators in the last 1 year. Guys like Folagari Banks, Miss Dems, Lege Miami, Miss Vine, Jay on Air, and many more. There will be music performances by Kinges, Ayomaf, Magics, Ayal, and many others. Host on the night will be Olua Ade Olua, and the Cloud Talk concert will be coming at you on the 29th of June 2024. The time is 5 p.m. Make sure you're there sharp to any of the action. The venue is Jewel by Aida on Hakim Dixon Link Road, Lekki, Lagos. For more information and to register, go to www.cloudtalkconcert.com. Cloud Talk Concert is brought to you by none other than Teasers and in Phoenix, Nigeria. Now, Cloud Talk Concert is definitely promising to be lit. That is why we have tagged this year's own Talk Just Got Lit. Ladies and gentlemen, what are you waiting for? Get ready. Go and register. It's just in 3 days' time. You don't have time anymore. You do not have the website www.talkconcert.com. Register and ready to attend for night of you.
It's so sense.
Interesting.
So engaging.
Not even mind-boggling.
Nigeria Info. Ask everyone. Anyone.
Yes, ladies and gentlemen, one thing you should note about Nigerian Info is that we are always giving away money every other day. That is why we are giving away money today. Of course, it is courtesy of Oneplay.ng. Yes, go to the website at www.oneplay.ng. Go there, select Nigerian Info, and with your 500 naira in tow, you will be in the brawl. You're not just links. You are also paying for a week airport happening on Friday. It will not wait for you. Just call it jackpot. Now, stay on Oneplay.ng. Make sure you keep your own with you. Or you could decide to use the USSD code at 347*880*3#. Like I said before, once you play, make sure you keep your phone very close to you because that important call could be coming in at any time. Your chances of winning are pretty much the same, whether you go through the internet or you go by way of *347 *880 *3 hash. You should remember to play responsibly. You should also remember that you are to play with only what you can afford to part with. That's it. And remember, one day a registered trademark, Lasho Trading Services, licensed by the Lagos State Lotteries. And what are we waiting for, ladies and gentlemen? Start playing, win, and high.
We're like gold diggers, tunneling through the mishaps and handicaps.
I don't know what to them. I don't know what to give them to eat. That is the issue at hand as I speak right now.
In the name of the good, we hope to earn the truth and be worth our weight in salt.
Every night, every year and there, we will hear 1 million boys, 2 million boys, 3 million boys. It's common people. People who don't have no money. They're supposed to plan it to go where people can follow you. Everybody can follow you, both the rich and those poor.
The Sunny Side with Joyce.
The Sunny Side with Joyce.
Weekdays 12 to 3 p.m. on 99.3 Nigeria Info. Let's talk.
And I fell heavy into your arms. These days moved us, wish we'd have known, will blow away with this new sun. But I'll kneel down, wait for now. And I'll kneel down, know my ground. And I will wait for you. And I will wait for you. So break my step and relent. Well, you forgave and I won't forget. Know what we've seen and him with less. Now in some way shape the excess. 'Cause I will wait for you. And I will wait for you. And I will wait for you. And I will wait for you. Now I'll be old as well as strong, and use my head alongside my heart. So tame my flesh and fix my eyes. A tethered mind freed from the lies. And I'll kneel down, wait for now. I'll kneel down, know my ground.
And now we have 4 children, and 2 has finished university. They now hate me so much that I've been cheating on her. I'm not happy with the marriage again. I don't still love her, but the way she treats me is the way I don't like it, because she insults me. She brings me to nothing, even in the front of my children.
And time brings us here.
People don't want to see what this government has done, and it's left for them. They want to be picking money on the street. They want government to be dashing money. Government is not Father Christmas. Government will only create the neighborhood.
No, but the people, I don't think that's what the people want, to be honest.
What do they want?
They don't want the government dashing them money. They want something that looks like a fair standard of living. Fair, like just good enough to be called a way to live. My work's done. The sun sets here. Mondays through Thursdays on your number one station for talk. 99.3 Nigeria Info. .3 Nigeria Info, the side. 38 minutes past 12. Welcome. The sunrise. It's a very beautiful day. I think this is kind of for radio. Every day is a day that we've come of. My name's Joyce, and today we hold it to be worthy of note. So real quick, I'm going to run by your hearing the things you anticipate on today's show, the availability of time. First hour, we're going to be sharing that hour and having the privilege of Dr. Patrick Ejewere with us in the studio. I'll introduce him in a moment, but first, you know he's already in the studio. After that, I'm going to be sharing with you what is updated news around COVID. Unfortunately, there isn't one collective global legal suit against vaccine companies, but the city of Kansas is suing the FDA. Is suing the CDC, for falsely representing the facts around COVID. I'm just going to play you the excerpts. It's not necessary that I read in your hearing their entire legal suit, but it's just so that you know that besides what you may have heard on radio or maybe seen on television or maybe have decided to overlook on social media, there's still moving stories around COVID, Corona. People who are doing research are still doing research. People who have been complaining since the beginning of COVID are still complaining about the patents, nanoparticles. By the way, once again, and worth rejigging your memory would be, I told you last week to Google it, and it's worth repeating again. Please Google the now newly reached agreement between Coca-Cola and Microsoft, and you have to read that, and it may not be it may not provide you total clarity, but it points you in a certain direction. And then you must also read Coca-Cola. Yes, you're one on you would very happy, but so imagine there's thing in food you're consuming, like your soft drink, or in the vaccines, which of course science is still working on to thoroughly determine what it is. And you see, we need time to fully establish what was in this vaccine or what's in this vaccine and what is the consequence of what we find on the human body. But then back to nanoparticles. Nanoparticles have the capability of self-replicating. So you don't take my word for it. Nothing I say should you ever just take on surface value. You can do your own research and you can emerge with whatever it is that you find or would love to believe. And so if nanoparticles have the capability of self-replicating, and then it's reported that there's nanoparticles found in Coca-Cola and Pepsi, and maybe in some other foods that we may not even be fully aware of, and then now Coca-Cola is in a deal with Microsoft, the story keeps moving, and if you're paying attention, you kind of piece together piece by piece information that may take you a year or more to even get a total picture of. All right? Okay. So later on the show, I'll just play you some audio to represent the point that Kansas City is suing the CDC over misrepresentation of the COVID vaccine. Now, remember, they said stuff like, you get vaccinated, and remember that they said that those who were not vaccinated were a threat to those who vaccinated, and then became the paradox of, how is it that if vaccinated, I'm a threat to the person who's vaccinated? You remember that? Good. You remember that if you vaccinate, reduce your chances of death, and you're vaccinated, you have a higher chance of dying. Well, remember that. Now you look back in the world today and you ask, so where is this COVID and all that mutation? What has happened? I have no answers for you, but I want to leave in your conscience the fact that the story keeps moving, and I want you to move with it. And it's not me telling you in any singular term what the truth is, because I'm still in search of what it could be. But here is something I know we can do together. We can pay attention to what the updates are. We can pay attention to mainstream news and off mainstream news. And in the event that in the course of your life, something like this repeats itself, hopefully you would have enough hindsight, you would have enough insight to make informed decisions for yourself, whether you would or you wouldn't, whether you go or you won't. That's for you to decide. But I think I have a duty to keep you abreast with what's necessary, what's information, and who is reporting it. Okay, so after that, we should be looking at people who have an objection to the so-called religion or organized religion in general. So what's your issue with religion? If you have any faults, if you have any blame, if you want something and now you have realized otherwise, I think today on language and interpretations, we can properly look into that and maybe begin to emerge with some sensibility around why we believe less today than we did yesterday and what the implications of a lack of belief or a not so religious people can be on the long term. My name's Joyce. It's set to be a day for worthy of note, and you can tell it's packed and it's happening. Today on the show, we should be focusing on cholesterol, which of course is a very delicate conversation. I think we have a misunderstanding regarding, I even have a misunderstanding regarding cholesterol, giving everything that's mainstream. But then again, I think besides what's mainly reported would be what we should know as far as the details go. I would also be looking into, and probably lightly, because I would love for the doctor to come back again and give us a more detailed analysis into high blood pressure medication, but I'll touch on that briefly today. And finally, we should also be looking at cholera. All right. Ooh, what a day. The sun rises here. My name's Joyce. We're off on a break. When we return, our guest will be introduced to you. If you've never met him before, smile. You'll be glad you did.
Quality talk.
Intelligent conversations.
Always interesting.
So engaging.
Sometimes even mind-boggling.
Nigeria Info. Ask everyone. Anyone.
99.3 Nigeria Info, the sunny side, 46 minutes past 12. My name's Joyce. Welcome. And yes, well, so let me even tell you how much this is going to hurt. If you've not heard Dr. Patrick on our show before, it's on YouTube. And yes, you missed. Good. Nice to meet you again. Now welcome. Behold, Dr. Patrick.
Good afternoon, Joyce and beyond. Greetings, Joyce, and the listeners here on Nigeria Info.
Look, it's so good to have you back here.
Thank
and you look well.
Thank you. You look well. Very well.
I was actually going to have my blood pressure checked before stepping into the studio, but I didn't have enough time because I wanted, to know how I was doing personally with my blood pressure. But I'll check it and send it to you. And then the next time you're here, you could talk about it. Because remember that they told me that I had blood pressure issues. And I've been doing some not so sophisticated magic in the kitchen. And I think I'm not doing badly at all.
Good.
Now, so cholesterol, cholera, and blood pressure medication. I think because the blood pressure is not our main focus, just by way of a by chat, I want to run something by your hearing, and I want to know what you're going to tell me about it. And then we're going to look at cholera and then go into cholesterol. That's blood pressure medications. I was doing research, and my research revealed, and you can debunk if you think otherwise, that blood pressure medications is derived from them. ACE inhibits that most blood pressure medications are rated. Now, we use students and the original word pharmacy is Latin, or in Latin known as magic. So we've done that on the before, and I've been trying out in the pharmacy, in field pharmacy. But I'm to you, the pharmacist, and I'm hearing blood pressure medication is the top 9 or even 10 derived from synthetic venom. Are we crazy, or what is this?
You've asked about 3 questions. Snake is a huge area. Open up the box. Occasion. You look at very highly where plant extract. Native Americans also have their blood sugar. There's a popular one, Reserpine. This is a plant grows in Africa. There's a monastery where they grow plant and they use it rapidly. Low herb fertility. Broad side before even. Was to bring to
I don't know how this
so products go and plants and which will act within the between which was linked to and with believe with that and name
Should we? Should you finish?
Popular in name journalism. Use all use really adamantly. So in production.
What are you right?
What I will compound enough is it pass get then just love pressure at the stage is you know I haven't here you can think that is true.
They're driving the thing and give right it. So the money and you get about the brains.
I swear Africa if truth our with and by guns. But them the whole effects like the niggas give call hearts there's our teas you treat plant versions the teas you rarely get reports of the finance people.
Okay. Even my mom, of course, well, the world. Your next 99 info bright.
Anti-cholera presents the 7th Column event setting for sustainable advertising and excellent Nigeria. She'll get on Grenade of Mohammed retired chairman, chief executive, NDLU will be discussed by top-notch advertising practitioner and the academic chairman of the occasion, Architect Vincent Etrono, executive secretary, fund. Keynote speaker, Dr. Bayo Adekambi. Other speakers include Professor Isika Ogwezi, Engineer Nka, Kechinwinka Adebayo, John Ube, Engineer Dozier. You wouldn't want to miss it. Date, June 27, 2024. Time, 8 a.m. Venue, Sheba Center, 20 Mobology Bank, Anthony Way, Maryland, Ikeja, Lagos. Chief host, Alhaji Mohammed Idris, Honorable Minister of Information and National Orientation. Announcer, Dr. Olalekan Fadolakbo, Director General, ARCON. For participation and inquiries, please call Susan on 0806 059 1965 or 402 4895. Be there.
Ladies and gentlemen,
boys and girls, introducing the first of its Nigeria.
The first radio for kids. It's here. 101.7 Kids FM.
Are you serious?
Oh, yes.
It's going to be fun for kids on your airwaves 24/7.
Talking about from exciting games
check
to juicy gist
double check
and great music
super check.
All these and more on your number one PlayStation 101.7 Kids FM.
Don't be the last to join the train. Download the Kids FM app on your iOS or Play Store today and stay tuned on the go.
You can stream on our website at kidsfm.ng.
You can also follow us on all socials at kidsfm.ng and stand a chance to be one of the super kids.
On 101.7 Kids FM. Remember, it's no dull moments on Kids FM.
So tune in and stay locked on 101.7 Kids FM.
Let's play.
Let us dive into the heart of global affairs.
We go beyond the headlines and into the real stories shaping our world.
Why paying more than $200 million to have 1,000 Kenyan soldiers come to Haiti when we could use that money to train the police?
What you've done with your grief is actually to spread it and give it and turn it into the love.
This served Netanyahu because he didn't think Hamas would ever be a serious military threat.
Congo is a country with so much wealth. The people have been fighting to regain control.
From the corridors of power to the front lines of change, Borderline brings you in with analysis of the issues.
The U.S. has power over them. Most of them will steal money from Haiti and invest in the U.S.
Of people who support Sonko and Jumai 5, over half of them don't have a voter's card.
Sounds like Nigeria.
Join Ireti Bakari Yusuf on Borderlines as she engages with policymakers and thought leaders,
giving you perspectives and insights you won't find anywhere else.
Be part of the conversation. Join us live.
Your voice matters on Borderlines as we explore the complexities.
Every Friday at 4 p.m.
on 99.3 Nigeria Info.
Stay informed, stay engaged.
Step into the conversation.
99.3 Nigeria Info, your number one station for talk. Let's talk.
Quality talk.
Intelligent conversations.
Always interesting.
So engaging.
Sometimes even mind-boggling.
Nigeria Info. Nigeria Info. Ask everyone. Anyone.
99.3 Nigeria Info, the sunny side. Welcome to the show. And yep, if you are curious and you want to enjoy a little bit of dark tunneling into God knows where, I think, according to our guest, Dr. Patrick, he's saying that you can just see whether you can find something, scientific articles on snake venom and COVID. I would add snake venom and blood pressure medication. And then there's also nanoparticles in COVID vaccine. You Hail Mary, you sign the cross, and God help you. It's 1 p.m. We're off on a break to bring to you the news update. I'll introduce my guest when we return. This is 99.3 We're Nigeria Info. My name's Joyce, and welcome. Remember, we're slightly touching on blood pressure medication, cholera, and we're looking at coast. That's a new Dr. Patrick. It's Joey back.
It's 1 o'clock.
The news update on 99.3 Nigeria Info.
99.3 Nigeria Info, you're listening to the news update. This hour, Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu says his administration is resolved to complete the 70 million gallon per day Adion Water Project, which was abandoned for years. He made the promise at the 5th Lagos International Water Conference. He noted that the project would have to be completed in the next 1 year. The conference has a theme, financing water and sanitation for a greater Lagos. Meanwhile, military veterans are meeting in Abuja for 2 days to discuss issues of welfare and how they can contribute to the fight against insecurity. The meeting was convened by the Chief of Defense Staff, and it seeks to leverage the experience of veterans. The meeting will offer an opportunity for military veterans to discuss issues and other concerns related to healthcare, pensions, housing, and essential services. The Ministry of Defense is reviewing a proposed Veterans Federation of Nigeria bill to replace the existing Nigerian Legion Act. Resolutions after the meeting are expected to shape government policies on veteran affairs. Meanwhile, CSP Shola Jejeloye is no longer the chairman of the Lagos State Environmental and Special Offences Unit. His removal was done by the Lagos State Commissioner of Police, Adegoke Fayoade. Fayoade, meanwhile, has appointed CSP Adetayo Akerele to replace him at the task force. A federal high court sitting in Lagos has ordered the final forfeiture of the sum of $1.4 million linked to a former CBN governor, Godwin Emefiele, to the federal government. The funds were alleged to be bribes received on behalf of Emefiele for allocation of foreign exchange when he was the governor of the CBN. Justice Ayokunle Faji gave the order after hearing an application filed and argued by lawyer to the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, Bilkisu Buhari Bala. EFCC urged Justice Faji to grant the final forfeiture order of the money lodged in Titan Trust Bank to the federal government. And WikiLeaks founder Julian Assange has landed in Australia after walking free from a US court. He hugged his wife and father at the airport as a small group of supporters cheered his arrival. He pleaded guilty to one charge in the court in the Northern Mariana Islands on Wednesday, bringing a years-long case to an end. Assange was pursued by US prosecutors for publishing secret military information and feared a long sentence in a high-security US prison. That's the news update, Lagos. I am Yvonne Ohaifo. You're listening to The Sunny Side with Joyce on 99.3 Nigeria Info.
Quality talk.
Intelligent conversations.
Always interesting.
So engaging.
Sometimes even mind-boggling.
Nigeria Info. Ask everyone. Anyone.
99.3 Nigeria Info, the sunny side. If you have just tuned in, welcome to a beautiful Wednesday afternoon to you. And of course, it's a day with us. Welcome to the sunny side. My name's Joyce. The sun rises here. The clock says it's 3 minutes past 1 p.m. My guest this afternoon, a product of St. Gregory's College, Obalende, Lagos. And of course, life took him all the way to Western Reserve. Is that Reserve University?
Case Western.
Oh, okay,
Case Western
good.
Reserve.
Cleveland, Ohio, the U.S. He earned a bachelor's degree in chemistry from George Washington University, and then followed by bachelor's in pharmacy honors from Howard University, Washington, D.C. Medical College at Howard University honors with an M.D. degree, and then specialty training in internal medicine at Johns Hopkins University, Baltimore, Maryland. He accomplished an executive MBA at the University of South Florida, Tampa, 2003. So if there's anybody who should be giving you professional advice, it would be one to my left in the studio, Dr. Patrick Ejawere. Once again, so good to have you here.
Good afternoon. Thank you.
All right, so we're in it, and let's hit the ground, and let's attempt to run if we don't have arthritis. I like what you said about the blood pressure medication. I think it leaves us with maybe the need to research and find out why we're not properly utilizing what is available to us at almost no cost. And I wonder why we don't take up I wonder why we have given up the responsibility, the duty for our own self-care, and relinquished that to doctors. So now I think I don't know if this is a conditioning of a sort, because I know the Nigerians normally would self-medicate, but even the self-medication is almost without proper interrogation or investigation. They just tend to want to repeat what they've seen someone do or what is popular. In that regard, what would you advise, just before we leave that and go to something else?
The culture of self-medication, it's a very slippery slope.
Yeah.
Yes, there are a few things you can quickly address. You have a small cut, go to the pharmacy, get a little cream, antibiotic cream, and apply it on there. Or go into the kitchen, get some onions, smash it up, get the liquid, and apply it on there.
Or even this blood pressure. If I tell you that I can't believe that people are paying money for blood pressure medication, I can't believe people are paying for that.
BP. Let's take a step back. What really is
causing it?
Causing it, yes. The body is a perfect system. It's when the body is imbalanced or has some challenges, it gives certain signals. So high blood pressure is a signal the body is given that there's an imbalance going on internally.
Yeah.
It could be as simple as not getting enough sleep. When you sleep, your sleep hormones like melatonin suppress your stress hormone, cortisol. You want to have low levels of cortisol, especially in the morning. So your nighttime sleep is so important to that daytime cortisol control. The ability to just hydrate adequately. When the body is dehydrated, inadequate volume, the response for the body is to increase heart rate and increase pressure, to make sure that all the tissues get adequate circulation. Address the hydration, drink enough water, sleep, water, physical activity. The body is designed for movement. If we sit down all day long, eventually you show up with high blood pressure. So there's some very basic things that if you take time to investigate with your doctor or nutritionist to isolate what are the factors that have caused my body to give me the signal of the pressure going up. Many of us can actually take steps without the synthetic medications to reverse and to normalize the blood pressure.
Okay.
High blood pressure is just a signal the body is giving that something is going on. Temporarily, the doctor may give you meds, but the goal here is to identify what has caused this signal and address the underlying cause.
Okay. So I think that this has left us with something to think about, and I love that people now are itching for a little bit more insight. They have to until the next time you're here to really make the blood pressure conversation a forefront conversation. I think right now what's bedeviling us, even though we may not necessarily be under the weather with what's now said to be cholera. And I've heard many people say, well, cholera, good God, that's something that happens in third world nations, as though we're not third world. Well, that's what happens in war-torn countries. Well, we're not war-torn, but maybe psychologically there's a bit of tearing here and there. I don't know. What can you tell us about cholera? And why would our seeming advancement so far appear not be so advanced if we're dealing with something regarded to be a kind of ailment that's familiar with third world or war-torn countries?
Why is it familiar with so-called third world or war-torn countries? Because there's disorder, there's disarray, there's chaos in the basic hygiene and sanitation systems. Let me rewind back to primary school days. We were taught in school, wash your hands, take a bath. If you use the restroom, wash your hands. Now, you go into the public arena, Lagos Island for instance, how many public toilets are there that are functional, where folks can go and use the restroom, do a number one or number two, wash their hands and come out and feel like they've done the right thing? No, it's very few. So in a sense, we've actually gone back in terms of the community hygiene. The place is filthy. I'm sorry to say, Lagos State government can do a better job and needs to create, well, the incentives, but also that mindset in everyone that hygiene and sanitation is our collective duty. Joyce, as a little child, if I was playing soccer in the backyard or in the front yard and the soccer ball crossed the fence into the gutter, I didn't think twice. I walked in the gutter, picked up my soccer ball, walked in the gutter till I got to my gate, came out and entered the compound. Because every Saturday, the local government cleaned out all the gutters, all the canals, all the bins. By Saturday afternoon, everything was spotless again. There were dustbins all over Lagos, functional. We have literally gone back in terms of community hygiene. So the cholera outbreak, assuming there is no third hand with an agenda, is an indictment of our primitiveness in our hygiene and sanitation practices collectively. The place is dirty, the place is filthy, period. Water systems. Yes, now they're blaming the people who make, is it Tiger Nut or Zobo and sell.
Yeah.
It's easy to blame them. Again, let's rewind the clock. When I was in school in the 70s, you had no fear drinking water straight out of the tap. None. The water standard was extremely high. You didn't need a filter system to drink water in the 70s out of the Nigerian taps. Today, you won't even dream or think about it without boiling and filtering. So in a sense, again, we have gone back into a primitive area of water and that whole water system delivery.
You're saying that our entire hygiene circle, the entire framework of hygiene and cleanliness as far as our cities are concerned, is near collapse, if not actually collapsed.
It's visually absent.
And then we just pick a few people who are trying to make a living and just blame them.
Exactly.
Now, it does. So I think we have a bigger problem here because it doesn't appear that the government even knows exactly what the issue is specifically. Because I'm thinking if you have a problem, the first thing you do is figure out what's the root cause of this problem in order to treat it at its root cause. But if we're gambling as to what, or guessing as to what the issue is, then who says this is not going to repeat itself? Because I don't know whether the government whether they have the courage to admit that this is a dysfunction or this is a lack of function within our hygiene circle.
Listening to our commissioner, I think he's kind of acknowledged there's a dysfunction in our hygiene circle.
Okay.
The folks trying to blame the
Zobo seller, Tiger Nut seller.
Please stop it. Just stop it. If we gave the proper infrastructure, this would not be an issue. If we gave the proper education and the proper monitoring, be it NAVDAC or Lagos State Environmental, whatever, this wouldn't be an issue. If we, in the schools, taught proper hygiene and the necessity to the young ones coming up and out, this wouldn't be an issue.
Okay. Let me bring this home. Because here we're hearing of deaths being reported. Yesterday I shared with the public that the government has distributed test kits. I don't know that that's enough. Now, imagine that I'm speaking or I'm asking this question on behalf of one listening Nigerian. It would be, what is the Nigerian supposed to do in order to the best of their own ability, safeguard themselves?
On an individual level,
Yeah.
I agree with some of the things that have been said so far. As much as possible, pause eating outside, especially roadside food or roadside vendors.
Can you get cholera from just eating mama put somewhere around the corner?
If she brings you water that is not properly
Okay,
wahala
clean,
there,
yeah.
problems.
But what about the cooking of the food? Do you assume
Well-cooked food.
Yeah.
Hot, well-cooked food. For the most part, you're good.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
The areas where we know this may sound very, very trivial. Maybe the government is, for the next 1 month, be very deliberate in providing water, whether through tankers or through private or government tankers, to certain neighborhoods abundantly.
Like which neighborhood doesn't need water now? Which one? Because the first 2 deaths I heard was from this side of Lagos, the seemingly highbrow area. So if people in the highbrow areas are dying, well, my prayers with those in the lowbrow areas.
And the irony is, it's fairly easy to fix this thing. The treatment is not that complicated, except when it goes too far.
When you say treatment, what do you mean? Is it the application of a process or an actual medical treatment?
All right, so you have the bacteria.
Okay.
But you have the loss of fluid and electrolytes from the body.
Okay.
Because of the emesis, the loose stools. You want to replace that ASAP. So if one is able to take things orally, once you start having a loose bowel movement, start hydrating, put some salt in the water. Yeah, put a little bit of sugar in the water also. And keep consuming it literally all day until you can get some medical attention.
Oh.
Now, if you're throwing up also, then you need to go through the intravenous access ASAP, which means the nearest facility that can put a intravenous infusion line.
Sometimes I wonder, even though I haven't given it much of a thought, the people who died have had a little quickly. I know that's an assumption, but it appeared as though I was with a case where someone is ill and maybe it takes about 2-3 weeks. Yeah, but it happened a little too suddenly because it appeared to me like it happened over a week or a weekend.
Okay.
How terrible is cholera?
Remember, during COVID, there were certain groups of people who were predisposed to being very seriously ill from COVID. Folks who had certain chronic conditions, folks who were obese.
Like comorbidities, what they call
comorbidities,
it?
Elderly folks and the like. You have a lot of Nigerians, Lagosians, who are undernourished, who are dehydrated, who have very weak immune systems. I mean, they're low on water, they're low on their potassium, their magnesium, and then you now open the faucet to drain out what's left in them. They go down very, very quickly.
Oh, I see.
Very quickly.
Okay. Is there an actual treatment
Yes,
or medication that Nigerians can take?
Yes. It's a bacteria. So the antibiotics that are effective. I mean, Vibrio cholerae is the scientific name. Yes.
Is this this is not self-medicating? This is like you have to go to a clinic, or at least if you have antibiotics at home, you can just take it. And what's with this whole dosage thing? Because I've heard it, I don't fully understand.
I prefer one goes to the medical clinic and does tests and then gets treated. So we're treating with the right antibiotic, the right dosage, the right intensity, and if need be, you're hospitalized.
There is a right antibiotic.
Yes, there's certain ones that are more effective
than others.
Yes. In medical field, we say we do what are called sensitivities.
Okay.
To see which of these antibiotics is most sensitive. Sometimes what was sensitive 5 years ago
may not be.
Either because of misuse or improper use.
Misuse on the part of, say, the consumer. Like, maybe you are supposed to So can you speak on this whole dosage thing? So I've heard when you're given antibiotics, they tell you that you have to finish the whole box. And I used to wonder, like, why are you trying to keep me drugged? Well, yeah, but that's because I don't like to just swallow stuff that's called medicine. So I don't know, is there like a justification, a medical justification why you have to finish a dose and what it does for your system?
Often the dosage is based on certain studies that have been done.
Okay.
You want to not just clear out the bacteria to the point where your symptoms have gone, because they may still be there.
Okay.
You want totally. So complete the treatment. If it's 5 days, if it's 7 days, complete it. And if you have the chance, go back and get retested that it's cleared or it's not, it's absent. But if you don't, please complete the 5 days, 7 days, or even 14 days.
Okay. So I have an observation, and this was pretty much in the news, I think about 2 or 3 years ago. It's about the killing of bacteria / antibiotics. And I think there is the medical aspect of antibiotics / bacteria in farming antibiotics bacteria. So there was a general assumption, as it was reported, that that the germs are adapting to what we're trying to kill them, right? You're trying to kill weed, you're trying to kill, but they keep adapting. So I'm thinking that even in the human body, you try to kill a bacteria, and then it tries to adapt. And the worry, according to the World Health Organization, as of then, was that if the bacteria adapt, then you have to up the strength of your antibiotics. And you can only up it for so long, to a period where you have now practically bred a monster that has been able to adapt over time. Do you understand my import? And is there a way to reverse it? Or do we sometimes contribute to a bigger problem? Because I have a problem with this whole consistent consumption of antibiotics, if there is a possible fear that there could be some adaptation, because the same language was used during the COVID, where they would say this particular strain of the COVID, this particular vaccine would not work for this strain of COVID, so they would ask you to go get a booster shot. And I heard some people took up to 4 booster shots, only just to attempt consuming doses that could suppress a particular strain. And it's also happening in the germ world. So what can you say about that?
Joyce.
Yeah.
You've asked about 6 questions.
Bless your heart. I'm sorry about that.
Whoa. Okay. Let's take it step by step. Antibiotics, often we think of them as man-made synthetic chemicals.
Mm-hmm.
And the name anti-bio, against life. You have probiotics, pro-life.
And prebiotics.
And prebiotics.
What's that?
Which are the nutrients the probiotics require to thrive.
Okay.
Now, in the human body, we have different areas where we have these bio or biomes existing.
Okay.
On the skin, we have microbes, the skin microbiome. In the mouth, in the gut, in the reproductive area of both male and female. For the most part, we have a balance in this diverse microbiome that gives net benefit to the body. For example, the bacteria, the biome in the gut, help us to digest our food, help us to absorb our food, even help us to manufacture some of our vitamins that we need for survival.
Okay.
On the skin, they help us keep our skin healthy. They help interrogate strangers that come onto our skin. Is this friend or foe? Now, in our modern era, we have come to this overuse of the anti-life chemicals, starting with our agricultural chemicals, which residue remain on the vegetables and the plants, and the fruits. In the animal husbandry, in the poultries, we give this to the chickens and the cows, and they end up in the meat which we eat. So literally every day in our modern society, we're eating antibiotics. The chemical residue in the vegetable, the herbicide and pesticide, they're also antibiotics. The injection for antibiotic given to the chicken that ends up in the in the meat, or the one given to the cow that ends up in the milk. So every day we are taking in these antibiotics. So every day we are slowly damaging our own healthy bacteria. Some of us choose to buy certain kind of soaps that are called antibacterial soaps, and we're damaging the or killing off the healthy ones on our skin.
What about the antiseptics? I know that the antiseptics used to be very popular in the 80s.
And then
or 90s actually.
Then we switched to antibiotics. More or less the same thing.
Okay.
They kill life. They kill this bacterial life. And we benefit from many of these.
When you say they kill life, because then the marketing was that it kills germs. So are you saying that what that meant was it killed both the good and the bad germs, or it just killed germs and then overkill? You don't even think it killed anything.
The word germs, I really use the word germs. We have a wide range of microbes, and it kills them.
Okay.
Both the good and the bad.
Okay. So now I have I'm off on a break.
Yeah, okay.
I want to go off on a break. I have 15 seconds to inform you of that. Lagos, if you have just tuned in, I guess this is Pharmacy 101. We'll be right back. It was just Dr. Patrick Ajewere.
You are listening to your number one station for talk.
99.3 Nigeria Info.
99.3 Nigeria Info. Let's talk.
Elevate your work life with the HP ProBook 440 G10 Notebook PC. Pre-installed with Windows 10 Pro, upgradable to Windows 11, the HP ProBook 440 G10 laptop comes with an Intel Core i7 processor with up to 32 gigabytes of RAM. Its clear 15.6-inch display comes in either touchscreen or non-touchscreen options, giving you versatility of use. Its 1 terabyte SSD storage lets you keep the things that matters to you the most with no pressure. But that's not all. A spill-resistant full-size keyboard with a numeric keypad and optional backlight makes typing on documents a breeze. So, are you ready to elevate? Get the HP ProBook 440 15.6 inches G10 Notebook PC today and enjoy versatility. The HP ProBook 440 15.6-inch G10 Notebook PC is available at Lance Trend Limited, number 28 Otigba Street, Computer Village, Ikeja, Lagos. Visit www.lancetrend.com or call 0809-781-7579 for more information.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, Cloud Talk Concert is back! Be part of Africa's premier creative community. Come share your inspiration and experiences with some of Nigeria's best content creators, including Folagade Banks, Miss Demps, Lege Miami, Miss Wine, Jay On Air, and many more, with live music performances by Ironman, Magic,
if not 10 years, he could take
Bayani,
drop my money for me, yo. Pounds and euro,
and many more. Your host, Annie Olua. Cloud Talk Concert will take place on June the 29th, 2024. Time 5 p.m. The venue is Jewel by Ida, Hakeem Dixon Link Road, Lekki, Lagos. Register for free at www.cloudtalkconcert.com. CTC is supported by Teasers and Infinix. Cloud Talk Concert. Talk just got lit. Are you ready to elevate your stay in Lagos to the next level?
Introducing VCP Hotel VI in the vibrant heart of the city.
Experience hospitality, dining, and views of Victoria Crown Plaza Hotel, located at 292B Ajose Adeogun Street, Victoria Island, Lagos.
Book your stay today and indulge this experience.
Victoria Crown Plaza Hotel, a destination. Elevate your stay in Lagos to the next level. Experience VCP Hotel VI.
For booking and reservation, visit our website www.vcphotels.com or call 0903-818-9144. Follow us on Instagram and all social media platforms at VCP Hotels.
Victoria Crown Plaza Hotel. Elevate your stay in Lagos to the next level. Located at 292B Ajose Adeogun Street, Victoria Island, Lagos.
99.3 Nigeria Info.
Your number one station for talk. Let's talk. Let's talk.
Quality talk.
Intelligent conversations.
Always interesting.
So engaging.
Sometimes even mind-boggling.
Nigeria Info. Ask everyone.
Ask everyone. Ask anyone. Welcome. Ask anyone about Dr. Patrick Ajewere. He's been here before, and he is here again. And I think I'm keeping him busy with trying to understand your consumption of antibiotics, because I think antibiotics is a very common over-the-counter self-medicating pill or alternative. The Nigerians just know all the brands, and they just, once their head aches, antibiotics. Once their belly aches, and when their eye aches, antibiotics. Once they feel like I should just drink medicine, it's a Tuesday, antibiotics, or paracetamol.
we haven't touched on the naturally occurring plant-based antibiotics.
Okay, good. Hold your thought. Now, I don't want to get lost. You're the professional. I'm not. I'm a student here, and I'm trying to pick up what you're putting down. And I know people who are listening are also trying to pick up what you're putting down. But before the break, you were trying to simplify the complexity of this whole thing running in my mind, and I wanted to pick it up from there so that those who are... If you have just tuned in, welcome. Dr. Patrick Kajewere is trying to give an answer to antibiotics and the fact that I asked a question, which of course was reported by the WHO, and it was even in the news, that our creation or regeneration or consistent upgrading of antibacteria or antibiotics is causing the germs and the weeds to adapt. And as such, the more we create antibiotics, the more the weeds and the germs adapt. So it means that we are creating monsters. I remember back in the day, the rats used to be so small. And you could kill the rats with my mother used to kill rats with Indoseed. Indoseed? I think that was what it was. Like this, there was a particular medication you could give to an adult, but if you want to kill the rat in the 90s, my parents would put it in fish or put it in bread. The rats will eat it and die. Now, you need a gun to kill a rat. Those things are not dying. And then they are bigger. They look like cats these days. Okay, so you were going to say.
So when you have this kind of subterranean continuous consumption of these antibiotics from your chicken, from your milk, from many things, the foods that we're getting from the farmers, yes, the body becomes somewhat resistant. Those microbes inside of you have become very familiar with these antibiotics, and they, quote unquote, they evolve and become resistant to these antibiotics. So whereas before that small dose of penicillin would take care of the sinusitis or the bacterial-induced pharyngitis, now penicillin's not touching it. You have to step up to something like amoxicillin mixed with carbolic acid or...
Yeah, you have to upgrade it because what used to work before no longer works because the germs have adapted.
Yeah. Same thing is happening in the field. What? The herbicides.
The pesticides.
The pesticides like glyphosate. Many farmers are finding are not as effective anymore. So what are they doing? They are now quietly mixing old banned pesticides like DDT and a few other ones with glyphosate to use in the fields to get the same killing effect on the weeds. And which means there's more toxicity on the plants and the vegetables that are now sold to us. That's another topic, but a lot of chemicals they use in agriculture that are banned in the West.
Yeah.
So, all right. The biggest step we must do is put things in the body that optimize our entire system, especially our immune system. If you're fully optimizing your nutrition, you are not prone to easy ailments, whether it is cholera, whether it's tuberculosis, whether it is COVID, or it is even Ebola. Your body has a tremendous capacity to defend you, but you must put in the right fuels, the right inputs, the fresh foods, the fresh vegetables, not the ones that have the chemicals that are slowly knocking you down. There's certain foods you should keep out of the body so that in an optimum situation, you can resist the onslaught of these microbes. I think last time I was here, I brought a book published in 1939. I have another one published in 1956, where they said the exact same thing. When you look at cultures that are very healthy, their nutrition was a huge part of their resistance to everything from polio to tuberculosis and other ailments of those days.
You're almost suggesting that there are some foods that even though they're healthy, we shouldn't be consuming them because they are produced or they are farmed on a commercial level where pesticides are being used. Yes. So the only reason you shouldn't be consuming it is not because it's not a vegetable or a fruit, but because of the process by which it came to be.
Now, astute consumers know, if you don't trust the source of the vegetables you're consuming, certain things can do to reduce the pesticide residue on the vegetables.
Yeah.
And you can rinse with salt water, vinegar, water.
Does that work?
Yes, it reduces it.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
And I advise all parents, just as a routine, just do it. Unless you're sure you're buying from an organic farmer or an organic cooperative or market.
Okay.
Just do it.
To rinse with vinegar and salt.
2 cups of white vinegar into a small bowl of water. Put your vegetables in there.
No specific type, right? I mean, if you have rice vinegar, if you have apple cider.
Apple cider is kind of costly.
Well, yeah, true.
So rice vinegar or the basic white vinegar is fine.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
If you have baking soda, a teaspoonful of baking soda into a small bowl of water, put the vegetables in there. You can use salt also. It also reduces the residue.
Okay. And so the purpose of your last few sentences is, let me see if I fully catch that picture. Our bodies are consistently, the food chain
is bombarding us with antibiotics.
Yeah.
In small doses, but cumulatively, it's doing harm to us and making us more resistant when we really need to take the big antibiotic for that serious infection like cholera or...
No, when we need to take antibiotics for an infection, the antibiotics doesn't work. So we have to go to a higher dose.
Or more stronger, more toxic antibiotic.
And what's the role of that on our bodies? Another adaptation for sure.
Yes.
I think so. I don't know.
The side effects are usually worse, whether it's kidney toxicity.
There you go.
Ear toxicity, liver toxicity, and even wiping out what's left of your healthy, good bacteria in your gut. The bacteria in your gut are 70% of our immune system.
You know, it's funny because every time we hear bacteria, we think it's a bad thing. So it's the bad cop.
You know, interestingly, the natural plant-based antibiotics, one that come in your onion, your garlic, your scallion, somehow those natural antibiotics know who's the good guy and the bad guy in your belly. So if you're consuming a smoothie and let's say you put some onions into your smoothie and drink it, like I do almost every morning, and make sure that the population of the unhealthy bacteria is diminished and my healthy bacteria thrive. Somehow natural plant antibacterial or antibiotics have this intelligence and can decipher what's a healthy bacteria in your gut and what is not. This is a whole other topic. There is a natural communication between man and his native environment. There are other ways to put it. There are some plants, for instance, that know when the body is hyper or hypoactive and can set us back into the adaptive range.
Yeah.
Science takes this for granted or disregards it in favor of the synthetics. Joyce, this is a whole other topic.
No, it's not. See, sir, look, I totally get it because being that this is your field, the more you look at it, the more the entire picture just pans out in front of you, and you're watching, and you're looking to figure out where should you even begin to verbalize this entire visual mapping that you have in your head. It's the same thing with sound. So I notice that I hear sound, and my brain tells me to shut that thing down. Like the sound. So you're absolutely right. My brain tells me, well, shut that thing down. It's not good for your head. Light. My head doesn't like artificial lights. So in my house, all my lights are dim. It's dim or candle lights. Because
sunlight.
Yeah, or daylight. Yeah, because my head doesn't like artificial lights. So when I'm in and I've said it before, and my colleagues don't even get it because I know I spoke to my manager about it, but he doesn't understand what I'm talking about. He probably thinks I'm alien. It's like artificial light is not even good for you. But yeah, I probably have to do a series on that to speak about. But basically, my body, my head particularly, it almost revolts against artificial light. So if I have to, my whole space is turn off everything. It's like candles. It almost feels romantic, actually.
Folks, you're hearing what Joyce is saying. Listen to your body. Today, when you guys get home, put on certain lights and just quiet down, just how your body responds.
Yeah.
Then change the lights to some other ones. You'll notice that there's some lights your body doesn't like to have on.
Yeah, my body doesn't like artificial light.
It happens to
my brain.
Single one of us, but many of us are not conscious of this I mean, we're not listening to our body. Choices.
And it's funny because when you say listen to the body, it doesn't even. I think some people don't know that the body speaks back.
24/7. It's speaking
Okay.
back.
So you see on this antibiotics thing, I don't want you to leave without not telling us what the natural antibiotics are, and I mean what a daily dose of a fair share of your good antibiotics should be, like something you can just incorporate into our diet that's affordable, that's reachable, because I think we tend to overlook these things and wait until when we're dying, and then when we're dying they're just loading our veins with Satan, snake venom, like it's just crazy. The moment you start reading all these things, it's like, why are all these things necessary? But then again, the doctors tell you they're trying to keep you alive. So what are some of the things we can do to at least put up a fight?
Simple things that are very abundant. You can get in the marketplace. The allium family. Onion is king. Onion, garlic, scallion. Abundant.
So wait, we just chew onion? Some people were born for that. I don't like it. Or chew garlic.
You know, once upon a time when you bought suya, they will give you plenty of onions.
Hey,
Today you buy suya, it's very, very small onion.
Yeah, okay.
Just cut it. If you can blend it into like I do a smoothie, fine. If not, you can eat it raw. You can crush it. That extract liquid has tremendous healing potency.
Nigerians don't want to be embarrassed, but when they say good morning and the entire air out of their system just greets everyone within 5 meters. So they would. So is there another way they can do it, or they should just brace up and you're either doing that or you're dying? Choose. Is it the Lebanese that chew garlic or the Indians? Who are those people? The garlic people?
I think they all do. Indians definitely.
Yeah.
You can ferment the garlic. You can ferment the onions. It kind of cuts down on that pungency without taking away the potency.
So what is the brine going to be made up of? So how do you do it?
You can use white vinegar, or if you want it to be a bit more potent, you can use apple cider vinegar.
So you just wake up in the morning, you just swallow one. I don't know. I'm asking an honest question. Like, I mean, you wake up and you take like a peel. I used to try the garlic thing, and I stopped because if I took it, I'll break out. And I thought maybe it was trying to detox my body. That's what but I just couldn't manage the breakout, so I just stopped. So if I ferment it, the smell reduces, right?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
If you
onion, garlic.
There's some places where they sell the aged garlic capsules. You can do that also.
Like a supplement.
Yeah.
Okay.
Just chop up the garlic real small and sprinkle it into your food and enjoy it. Or do it late in the day when you're home.
At night, when it's just you and your husband, so the only person complaining is your lover. Like, okay, so that works. So onion, garlic.
Yes. Now there are many other vegetables that do have some antimicrobial properties.
Okay.
I mean, lemongrass is a simple one.
Oh, okay.
Very simple one. Make it into a tea.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay. What about turmeric? I hear it's a blood thinner, but that's good, right?
Many of our plants have quote unquote blood thinning effect.
Oh.
But it's actually beneficial.
Yeah.
For example, okay, no, I won't mention that one.
Cloves?
Cloves are awesome. Antibacterial, antimicrobe. From the time you chew it in your mouth, goes down, you absorb it into the bloodstream.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Turmeric? Are you giving them
yes. Oh yes, turmeric.
Okay.
Both the root and the leaf.
Oh.
And the leaf also.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Ginger? What about ginger?
Potent, both the root and the leaf.
So basically, the spices we cook with, we could just. I don't know. Am I wrong?
The spices have tremendous benefit. We mislead people. You have stomach this. Don't eat spice. Anyway, let's.
Doctor, no. You have to go there because doc. What do you mean don't go there? Well, see, the reason we have to go there is that the more I come through some revelation or I come through a discovery of something that I've heard before, the more curious I get. Now, when I get curious, I go digging. Now, when I find stuff, then I start looking for people like you because, I have my own opinions and my opinions, I make sure just apply to me. But I know that some things may be controversial, but that's the whole point. Particularly if you're sure of the accuracy of your information.
See,
let those
Joy,
who object to it come up with a better argument.
There's once upon a time, the food we ate healed us.
Yeah.
The food we ate was also medicine.
Yeah.
Food and medicine were one. Today, the food we're eating is causing us to need the medicine. We've processed the food so much so that we've taken out the healing component of that food.
Yeah. And this is an industry at this point. We're speaking to the industries that are, we're talking about this whole new GMO corn that Nigeria thinks is a fancy idea. So there's that, right?
GMO corn that's going to put
So commercial, the conglomerates that are suddenly more interested in food than they are in oil are governing food in a way that God didn't originally intend.
Yes. So if you love your personal and your family health, start a small garden. Get some bags, empty bags, and put soil in them. Start growing your own potatoes, your own onions, your own tomatoes, your own peppers. Put the bag at the side of the house. Put it on the balcony. Start growing something. Ugu grows very well in those sacks, those popular sacks.
I want to quickly read something out of ScienceDirect.com, and of course they're also quoting a historical documentation. This was 400 BC, and it's a quote credited to Hippocrates, and it goes, the title of this review refers to the popular phrase, quote, let thy food be thy medicine, and thy medicine be thy food. Let thy food be thy medicine, and thy medicine be thy food. So if thy food is not your medicine, if it looks like food, it's not food.
If it looks like food in its original form, it's likely medicinal also. It looks like food from the Garden of Eden.
Yeah.
Its original form, it's likely also has some medicinal properties.
So if it looks like food, but it's not medicine, like a burger would not be medicine.
In fact, a burger is sickness.
Yeah.
It's delivering sickness to the body. It's delivering nutrient theft to the body. It's delivering antibiotics to the body. It's delivering inflammatory components into the body.
Okay. I think this has brought us perfectly to the point where we go into cholesterol. I can't tell you. At this point, I even think part of what we've heard about cholesterol is even propaganda. It's either deliberate misinformation or our doctors have not been so well informed themselves that they have, out of the ignorance of their own hearts, told us what they know about cholesterol. And the entire subject, so if you go by what's on social media or what your doctor tells you, you know what you know about cholesterol. But the moment you start trying to dig in a little deeper, you first get confused, or maybe you get fascinated or you become intrigued by what you discover. First, sir, what is cholesterol? Because these burgers, they say cholesterol there. These oils, they say cholesterol over here. This, don't eat palm oil, cholesterol. What is cholesterol? And what's the utility of it?
Okay. Cholesterol is part of God's awesome creation.
It is?
The human body makes cholesterol. All mammals make cholesterol. Plants, to the best of our science, do not make cholesterol. They make phytosterols. Animals, mammals, make cholesterol. It's made in our liver. 99% of our cholesterol is made in our liver. Why? Because in God's design, it's needed for the existence of the human body. It's needed for building the human body. Remember, God created perfection in the human body. Everything the body needs is done within it for the most part. All right. Let's look at cholesterol. Let's start with all our, what do you call them? Sex hormones, estrogen, testosterone, progesterone. They are made from cholesterol inside the body. When the sun hits cholesterol on your skin, it makes vitamin D, which we know is a potent immune fighter. We know it's a potent for your bone strength, for kidney health, for long-term memory, to make your sleep hormone melatonin, to make your antidepressant hormone serotonin, to make your anti-BP hormone called aldosterone. All those are made from cholesterol in the body. So cholesterol is a natural part of the mammalian body in God's creation.
The doctors never say that.
Because many do not know.
Okay, so
or they've forgotten.
So you gave me your weekly
newsletter.
So you gave me a number. He gave me like 4 newsletters, and one of them, interestingly, is wellness and cholesterol and the misunderstood friendship. Brilliant. So from this particular newsletter, I'm going to read an excerpt because I think this conversation can be furthered off of this particular paragraph. And I quote: "High cholesterol is not a disease. Like fever, a fever is not a disease. It's a warning symptom and sign that something else is wrong. Your cholesterol level is high because there is an underlying dysfunction in the body. It could be inflammation, like arthritis, joint inflammation, kidney or stomach inflammation, or smoldering inflammation such as diabetes, insulin resistance, heart disease, ongoing mutagenic damage to cells, including an undiagnosed cancer," end quote. So there is high cholesterol, there's low cholesterol. What are we looking at there?
Okay. The body has its native intelligence to keep the cholesterol level within a certain range. Remember also, your brain is about 3/4 cholesterol. Your brain is a ball of fat. It requires a lot of cholesterol to keep it functioning. The firing of all those neurons. The health of the neurons, the replacement of the neurons is tied to cholesterol. All your cells are glued together with cholesterol. So the entire body is cholesterol. Let's be clear. Now, anytime there's damage anywhere in the body, inflammation, trauma, liver says, hey, send the troops out, make more cholesterol and send them out to go put out that fire that's going on. Okay. So in medical terms, we may call it an acute phase reactant, or it's a warning signal that there's something going on in the body, like you mentioned, inflammation.
Yeah.
The liver is simply responding to what's an ongoing challenge. So when cholesterol is high, one shouldn't treat it with medications. Rather, figure out why is it high. What is it pointing us towards? It's saying check engine, check engine, check engine. Go look in the engine, see what's going on in the engine and fix that. Once you fix it, cholesterol comes down. And we do it over and over every week. Folks coming with high cholesterol, we figure out what the cause is. For some folks, it's just so much stress that is going on. So a month, 2 months, 3 months of lack of sleep. They've been on a project out in the Delta.
Okay.
When they finally get back to sanity, where you can now rebalance the body, their nutrition, their sleep, less worry, cholesterol comes down. Some folks, it's just poor nutrition. They're consuming foods that are very inflammatory. King, the number one is sugar. One of the most inflammatory food that we eat is sugar.
Can that drive your cholesterol up?
Yes, ma'am.
Oh, boy. Okay. Oh, man.
All right. So cholesterol helps in several ways to heal the body's injuries. It helps to fix the bonds between the cells. It helps to make sure that there's enough supply of those hormones that we need for all our various processes. So it's a very important part of the body's internal dynamics, internal relationship, internal health and well-being. Your liver makes the bulk of it by nature. Now, you mentioned something about the oils, palm oil.
Yeah. So there's a tricky part to that aspect of the question because, sir, there is what we think we know cholesterol is and how the marketing tells us that this has no cholesterol. So can you simplify?
It's pure deception. Oils such as the canola oil, corn oil, soybean oil, and the other ones that they market under different brand names. On the label, they put a label on the bottle, no cholesterol. Yes, because the plants by nature do not have cholesterol.
Hold on a second. The plants do not have cholesterol, but we don't know it.
No.
So they sell us they sell us and then tell us no cholesterol. So you're just pretty much preaching to the choir. But if only I knew it, that would not necessarily be a very good marketing tool.
Exactly. Now, many people also confuse cholesterol for saturated fats.
Simplify.
If you get palm oil, keep it on the counter. After a while, certain things settle out of it. If you get canola oil,
coconut oil,
it may settle a little bit.
No, but so what happens to the phasing where it goes from liquid to solid? Is that not what you mean? Because that's what happens.
Saturation.
Okay, good.
Okay. Now, people think fats that are saturated is a bad thing.
Okay.
That's the marketing that's also used. So buy your polyunsaturated oils, corn, soybean, canola. Don't buy the oils that have the saturated component to it. But the body also needs some saturated fats.
Like the butter. Would that be saturated?
That's not, yes, it is. But the body needs that. I mean, that's butter from a grass-fed cow.
Yeah.
Cow that hasn't been given all those injections and all those steroids and all those other things. For the most part, it's actually...
Not the margarine, the butter.
Margarine is plastic. Margarine is plastic.
You know,
petrochemical.
You know it's crazy when you put it like that, for real?
Yeah. Margarine is petrochemical.
Margarine is plastic.
Yes.
Lagos, all of you have been eating meat pies and cakes.
Very inflammatory. We use the word trans fats.
Okay.
Hold
on, sir, please. Lagos, we're off on a break. If you go anywhere, you know you miss.
More conversation, more talk, more right after this.
Ladies and gentlemen,
boys and girls, introducing the first of its kind in Nigeria.
The first radio just for kids. It's here at 101.7 Kids FM.
Are you serious?
Oh, yes.
It's going to be fun for kids on your airwaves 24/7.
All these and more on your number one PlayStation 101.7 Kids FM.
Don't be the last to join the train. Download the Kids FM app on your iOS or Play Store today and stay tuned on the go.
You can stream on our website at kidsfm.ng.
You can also follow us on all socials at kidsfm.ng and stand a chance to be one of the super kids.
On 101.7 Kids FM. Remember, it's no dull moments on Kids FM.
So tune in and stay locked on 101.7 Kids FM.
Let's play.
Who says you can't have it all with Oneplay?
I got that defined boy. You have just won yourself.
Congratulations.
Hello, good morning.
Yes, Melitus. Oneplay don't talk to 2 players because you won 20K.
So now you won yourself 20,000 naira.
My name is Well Done.
Okay, well done. I want to tell you, well done. You won yourself 20,000 naira.
With 500 naira, you can play to win big. From 120,000 naira to 190,000 naira daily on Nigeria Info. Go to oneplay.ng and play with 500 naira. And in a few seconds, your ticket is in the draw. Or dial *347 *880 #3#. Win daily on Nigeria Info. 50,000 naira on Morning Crossfire. 60,000 naira on WhatsApp Lagos. 20,000 naira on Sunnyside. And 60,000 naira on Game On. So Lagos, what are you waiting for? The more you play, the better your chances of winning. Remember to dial *347 *880 #3#. Play responsibly. Not suitable for persons under the age of 18.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, Cloud Talk Concert is back! Be part of Africa's premier creative community. Come share your inspiration and experiences with some of Nigeria's best content creators, including Folagade Banks, Miss Dems, Legge Miami, Miss Wine, Jay On Air, and many more. With live music performances by Iomap, Magic,
if not 10 years, he could take.
Bayani.
Drop my money for me, yo. Pounds and euro, daddy.
And many more. Your host, Annie Olua. Cloud Talk Concert will take place on June the 29th, 2024. Time 5 p.m. The venue is Jewel by Ida. Hakeem Dixon Link Road, Lekki, Lagos. Register for free at www.cloudtalkconcert.com. CTC is supported by Teasers and Infinix. Cloud Talk Concert. Talk just got lit.
We're back.
We're back.
We're back.
We're back.
We are back.
We're back on 99.3 Nigeria Info.
99.3 Nigeria Info, the sunny side. So I have just gotten permission from the doctor. I'll be having him here a little longer, even though this certainly has even just overshot time. But you can tell for sure it's worth it. Thanks to everyone sending messages. Remember, we're focusing specifically on health issues, and I'm trying to get the best out of him by bringing up a topic per time. And so today we're looking fundamentally at cholesterol. I'm less than a minute away from the top of the hour, and it's not going to be enough time for him to speak on the monounsaturated, saturated fat, because I think you need the understanding of it just so that you can make a better, more informed decision, a healthier decision. And you can tell a lie when you can spot a lie when they come your way and say, well, this has no cholesterol. And I think one thing you have done, sir, in the last 30 plus minutes is that you are leaving us to reshuffle what we think we know about cholesterol, because now you're saying it's not bad, but we have just been told no cholesterol without necessarily the information as to why cholesterol is good, not good, and what versions of it are good. Now there's the LDL and
HDL.
Good. You know, you're going to have to simplify that because we don't know what that is.
We say the LDL is the bad cholesterol, HDL is the good cholesterol, but biochemically, LDL is simply a protein or lipoprotein that carries cholesterol from the outside of the body or outside the cells in extremities, back to the liver for recycling.
Okay.
So that's the so-called
LND.
LDL carries cholesterol from the liver where it's been synthesized to the site of the body where it's needed for repair or whatever.
Okay.
HDL does the opposite, carries the breakdown cholesterol from the
outside in
back to the liver.
Okay.
Yeah, from the hand to the liver, from the legs to the liver for recycling.
It's 2 p.m. When we come back, he'll attempt to simplify it so that you have a fundamental comprehension of cholesterol. The next time you're choosing your oils, you know exactly what you're looking at. The headlines is next on Nigeria Info. My name's Joyce. You're on the sunny side. I'm going where?
It's 2 o'clock.
Quality talk.
Intelligent conversations.
99.3 Nigeria Info. We are more than just radio. Subscribe to our YouTube channel at Nigeria Info FM. Check us out on Facebook at Nigeria Info 99.3. Follow us on Twitter at Nigeria Info FM and on Instagram at Nigeria Info FM Lagos for live updates as it happens. 99.3 Nigeria Info.